It's September of 2024 and I'm making a video of my updated man cave slash home theater. Last August I had quite a flood down here. I'll show a video at the end of what this place looked like after the fact, but had to redo everything thanks to that flood. This is just walking down the stairs. Right over here, I'm really into audio equipment, modern stuff, as well as classics from the 70s and 80s, like what you're seeing here. So that's some Marantz equipment and some, I forget what those speakers are, it'll come to me eventually, but anyway, that's that. It's a phone that was similar to the one that I grew up with in my house in Chicago. I've lived in and around Chicago for 34 years, and then I've been out in the Ohio area for 30 years, so you'll see kind of some memorabilia and things that are connected to both cities. Just a poker table that I picked up used for a really good price. And when we built the house, my wife and I had this house built about maybe 10 years ago in December, and we had it all plumbed in, thank God, because it would have been terrible to bust up the floors for the drain pipes, but we had this finished off a couple of years ago, I think it was now. DCM time frames, that's what those are. I knew it would come to me, my old brain eventually. Nice TEAC open reel tape deck and a Denon turntable. So coming around into this part of the basement, I'm a big music fan, very big music fan, and I kind of like unique pieces. I've gotten all these things pretty much off of eBay and used to be Craigslist, now pretty much Facebook Marketplace. And some kids in a town right next to me that make these tables. Pretty cool. It's an old Fisher speaker with a glass top on it. It actually works. I've got a little amp plugged into it in the bottom. And as you can see, those lights are affected by my voice. So one of the things that I did while I had the walls open, I used to have on-wall speakers. So with the walls open, I was able to run in-wall rated wire to the speakers back here. So I've got a pretty basic surround sound setup back here as well. And coming over to the bar, this is my little homage to my dad over here. He passed away when I was really young, but I still remember him fondly. So he had that PBR guy on the left there on his bar. So my wife found one and got it for me for Christmas one year. And then he was a big Schlitz drinker too. That was his thing. And again, I grew up in Chicago, so that's Shirish is self-explanatory. So coming over here, it's a 50-inch TV there just for when I'm just sitting back here putting a few down with some buddies. I've got a little Marantz. That's actually a Bluetooth speaker that looks like an amp, or a Marshall, I mean to say. And yeah, we all know about the disaster up on Lake Erie, so I'm not going to get into that, but I like that refrigerator. And my Marshall amp slash refrigerator. Some Rush bobbleheads up on stage with the lighting behind them. Jason Bonham drumhead. And then my favorite guitarist up there is Michael Schenker. Great Lakes Brewing is local Cleveland place, so got a few of their things down here. And then just some stuff up on the soffit where there's a beam that runs through there. Custom made neon, and then miniature Neil Peart drum set. And then I've got a Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar, Michael Schenker, Tony Iommi is the black one, and then of course Gene Simmons' famous Axe bass. Got records stored in there, and then I've got another, this is the main part of the music system, and then that's an 83-inch OLED up there that's currently playing a commercial. Not the best thing to demo, but hey, it is what it is, right? And then I've got this special edition Pink Floyd Project turntable that I got. So that's pretty cool. It obviously it's an art piece in a way, but it actually sounds really good. And then I've got a acrylic platform with some anti-resonance, I forget whatever they're called. Anyway, it helps with the vibration of the turntable. And then just a couple rugs down on the floor. This used to be all carpeted, but I had vinyl plank put down for obvious reasons. And one thing I will say is, luckily in that flood, I did not lose any of my equipment. And the reason that happened, I was going into the sump well with a 16-gallon wet vac and using the toilet in the bathroom to dump it in, and I must have emptied that thing, I'm not exaggerating, probably about 50 times. And I think if I wouldn't have done that, I definitely would have lost some equipment, because you're gonna see, especially in the other room, a lot of it's sitting right on the floor. Some stuff over here too. I should get in the shop before I head off to the other place. Oh, new David Gilmour playing. I was a lineman for AT&T for about 25 years before I retired. So I got some stuff down there related to that. I actually worked at the RNC back in 2016, or 2016, that's where that guitar is from. And then you're gonna see up there, I've got a screen. It's a 100-inch drop-down screen, and there's a projector for it right there. So got an extra screen down here, so that's a total of 3 down here. And then this is the doorway into my theater room. I did some upgrades here too. So I used to have a big rack right in the back corner over here with all this equipment. So I had a built-in put in when they had to redo the wall anyway. So that worked out great. It's so much easier to access everything back there than it was trying to reach behind that rack in the corner where those traps are. I have a small LG TV up here if I just need GUI and I don't want to fire up the projector. That's what that's for. Kind of saves me some bulb life. Even though that's a laser projector, they last really long. And so there's my ultra short throw projector down there. That's a AWOL Vision LTV 2500. It's triple laser, and then that is a screen with Kaleidoscape on it. A bunch of movies on my Kaleidoscape system. So that's really neat. It's very easy to access everything right off the GUI there. And all my speakers that I have, which is several Ariel Acoustics, are the big nice curved wooden ones. And then I've got REL subs down there, musical Fidelity amps. It's another little REL sub there. And a bunch of equipment in the rack. I won't go into detail on all that stuff. I don't think it's necessary, but it's good equipment. Coming around this way are my seats. So the front row and the back row don't match, but that's okay as far as I'm concerned. And then I paid a lot of attention to acoustics in the room. I'm certainly no acoustical scientist. I kind of was doing it by hit and miss and experimenting, and it sounds pretty good in here. You don't want a really dead room and you don't want a reflective room. You kind of want a good balance of the two. Helps make it sound lively but not reverberant. And that's my riser. What I did was I put some LED lights up under the lip of the top riser with mirrors down on the front. So if I'm watching a movie down here or something and somebody comes in, they won't trip over that thing. It helps light it up. And then I've got a 15-inch sub back there that matches the front 3. Those are 12s up front. That's a 15 in the middle. I still listen to vinyl, so got my turntable, and then I'm using that tube kind of preamp as a buffer between that and the equipment in the front of the room. And power conditioner sitting up on the top over there for everything that's back here, especially the turntable. Then 2 more subs. Those are Martin Logan's. Those have 3 10-inch woofers and a 750-watt amp in each one. All my movies that I still have. And then, so my side speakers, and then I've got 8 speakers up in the ceiling. There's 2 of them, another side speaker. And I've got more sides. So what I did up there, the ones in the front are angled towards the back seats, and the ones in the back are angled towards the back seats. So I've got, those are Dolby Atmos overhead height speakers, whatever you want to call them. Kind of gives me better, better sound between the 2 rows. Before I did this, you couldn't really hear the back speakers from the front row and vice versa, so that's why I did that. It's probably I'm probably breaking all the rules, but it worked. I can adjust each one of those channels independently, so I've got it tuned in pretty well. Mostly geared towards the front row because that gets used a lot more than the back row does, but still, I think it sounds good. And then my rug I got off of Wayfair. Coming back out into here. There's one more area. Well, 2 really, but one main area. So this is an unfinished part of the basement. So I used it for a pool table, and I have a stereo down here as well. I've got the old school, what happened there? Anyway, those lights normally light, oh, there they go. Those are old color organs from Radio Shack. Those things are probably from, I don't know, mid-70s maybe, something like that. So let me just get these fired up a little bit. So I've got a old school, primarily Carver setup down here. That's what most of those components are. That's just a, you know, a baseline Insignia 55-inch TV, I think that is. So it doesn't have to be good when you're just sitting down here playing pool and watching a game or something like that. That's the way I look at it. Try this again. Here we go. It's just a bunch of storage back there and then the refrigerator. It's got this little pub table sitting over here. And again, I'm not going to talk about that team after they pooped the bed yesterday. And last but not least, I'm in the space right behind where that video screen is in the theater room. So that's just some extra amplification and power protection, an extra Kaleidoscape server down there, and then like I said, this is so much easier to work with than what I had before. I can access everything back there, and I tried to do some wire management, but with all the lines I have back here, I'm still working on it, especially off there on the right where the builder put that panel in. But it's functional, and I think it came out pretty good overall. I'm really glad I went with the built-in rather than putting this tower right here was the one that used to be out front. So it took up a lot of real estate out there, and it was a real pain in the ass to get behind to work on. So that's why I had that built in. What I'm going to do is put a video at the end of this that it will show the aftermath. I cannot tell you how much time I spent moving things around for the people who came in to do the flood remediation, and when the floors got done and the walls got done, I spent countless hours down here. Thank God I had some relatives and friends come over and help me move things up into the garage to try and get things out of the way. But it was a lot of labor, but in the end, I tried to turn lemons into lemonade. So thanks for watching, appreciate it, and yeah, I'll stick that post-flood video in after this. I'll just give you one more quick little view of this now that there's not a commercial on.